Hi everyone, how's life, and welcome to another one of my videos. Today I am in Disneyland Paris in Walt Disney Studios, currently at Avengers Campus, and you can kind of see Avengers Flight Force there behind me. This is the roller coaster ride here at Avengers Campus, and I've not actually been on it yet. If you remember a couple of months ago in July when this attraction first opened, I did come here. I've got a whole video of it as well. However, I wasn't feeling too well and I didn't want to risk going on it before I was checked by doctors. Thankfully everything's all good now, so I am all good to go on the ride. So yeah, I thought I would spend the evening here. It's about 8 p.m. That's why it's dark. It's actually a really cool atmosphere at Avengers Campus in the dark, so I would definitely recommend it. And this park, this section of the park anyway, is open until 10:30 p.m. so about an hour and a bit longer than the rest of Walt Disney Studios Park. So yeah, we've got the ride behind us. I think it's about 15-minute wait time, so come along, let's go. Look how quiet Avengers Campus is as well at this time of evening. Like I said, about 10 minutes past 8 p.m. and today is the 27th of September 2022, and the parks have been quite busy overall, and even Avengers Campus earlier in the day was rather busy, but at the moment in the evening time it's fairly quiet, I would say. Look at that Quinjet over there. It looks awesome. The lighting is just incredible in Avengers Campus, and you've got the logo here as well. Flight Force is what it's called, and yeah, loads of cool effects over here. I'm pretty excited to go on this attraction. I feel like it's been a long time coming, and Flight Force, if you didn't know, used to be the Rock and Roller Coaster, Aerosmith's Rock and Roller Coaster, up until 2019. That's when this ride, or Aerosmith's Rock and Roller, closed for refurbishments to change it into Flight Force, which is meant to be, I believe, an Iron Man coaster. Like I said, not done it before. The track is meant to be the exact same as Rock and Roller, and that Rock and Roller had the exact same track as Florida's Rock and Roller in Hollywood Studios. So the actual attraction, the ride, the physicality of it is not going to be any different to what I've been on a number of times before, and most people would have gone on probably in Florida too. However, the theming, of course, is very much Marvel themed, so can't wait. I've heard mixed reviews, but hopefully I will enjoy it. We shall see. As I mentioned in my Avengers Campus overview video as well, you don't have to actually go on the ride if you just want to have a look at the attraction, at the queue line, which is apparently one of the most impressive parts of this ride. You can do so. There's nothing to stop you from exiting once you've done the whole queue. When you actually get to the ride and you see what the ride looks like, which is obviously a roller coaster, and if you change your mind and say, actually I don't feel comfortable going on this ride, absolutely fine, and that goes with almost all the attractions at Disneyland Paris. So basically, if you join a queue line, you're not going to be committed to it. It's fine. You can still change your mind up until the end of the queue line before you're meant to actually go on the ride. Now, whilst Flight Force has a really cool facade that we just saw earlier over there with the Quinjet and everything, the actual entrance of it is over here. You can see it says Avengers up there, and some warning signs as well about who should not ride this. For safety, you should be in good health, free from high blood pressure, heart, back or neck problems, motion sickness, which I do kind of suffer from, but we'll give it a go anyway, etc. And then the height limit is 120 centimeters, which is the exact same as it was for Rock and Roller. They do actually have a single rider line for this, which is currently at 10 minutes, which is really good. And the main queue over here, as you can see, is 30 minutes, half an hour. Now, even though I'm definitely a solo person at the moment, as you can see, it's just me, no one else is with me. I am going to go through the main queue, the 30 minutes queue, because if you go through the single rider queue, you do miss the main part of the queue line, the kind of fun part of it. You don't get to see Iron Man, which I think is one of the best things about this attraction. So we're going to commit to half an hour waiting time, hopefully it'll be a bit less anyway, and see how it goes.
Soyez informés que nous sommes en alerte jaune. Veuillez vous rendre en salle de crise pour de plus amples informations.
The theming of the queue line is already pretty cool. You get to see some cool photos of some of the Avengers. Then we've got another little section over here that says Avengers Assemble. Really fun. And actually, so far, it seems to be more or less a walk-on, even though it does say half an hour. I feel like it probably will, be a little bit longer once we get to the main section. But at the moment, I'm just walking. I'm literally just walking in this queue line.
I'll get to those missiles in time. Oh, and it's really great getting lessons on ego from a man who plasters his name on everything.
Mon nom partout, c'est pas de l'ego, ça s'appelle une image de marque.
Signing off, Stark. Gotta save your butt.
Génial, elle pense qu'elle a pas besoin d'aide.
Okay, looks like the waiting has actually started now. We are at a standstill and have been for the past 5 minutes or so.
The recruits are entering, sir.
Ne traînez pas, les amis, on a du pain sur la planche. Friday, continue. Purge et rallume l'unité centrale et les générateurs auxiliaires.
Okay, draining mainframe and auxiliary power.
Oh, je t'ai dit de les rallumer aussi.
Energizing. We've got a situation. As you know, Kree warheads are headed our way, and we need your help.
Ne vous inquiétez pas. J'ai créé un transpondeur qui va faire en sorte d'être pris pour cible. Ces transpondeurs sont chargés dans les véhicules hypersoniques de la Flight Force. Votre mission, piloter ces véhicules et détourner les missiles de la Terre.
Right. You'll be joining us on the mission.
En avant! Allez, sauvez le monde!
Allez, sauver le monde! Go, help or save the world! That's actually probably one of the best things about this ride. I love it. It's an amazing animatronic.
Et puisque vous avez courageusement décidé d'emmener vos enfants dans le vide glacial intersidéral, veuillez les survivre.
Remember, recruits, we're all counting on you. These ballistic warheads need to be stopped. Our Avengers have complete confidence in your abilities to lead the projectiles away from the planet so they can demolish them. If this works as Mr. Stark envisions it, you will all save the world. Bear in mind, the hypersonic is a high-speed vehicle. Be prepared for loud noises, sharp turns, 360-degree loops and sudden drops at high velocities. For your safety, you should be in good health and free from high blood pressure, heart, back, neck problems, motion sickness, and other conditions that could be aggravated by this mission. Expected minors may not ride. Anyone with these conditions will want to opt out now. No one will judge you.
I love how they say, we will not judge you if you decide to opt out. It's good actually, because some people might feel embarrassed to leave, and at the end of the day, health should always come first, right? You can see the single rider queue over there, by the way. There's only maybe a couple of people in it, and that's why they actually missed Iron Man animatronic, because they don't get to go to the room that we just came from. We're more or less there now at the loading area. That's where the trains would come, the roller coaster comes. So I feel like all in all, it probably was close to 30 minutes, so almost exactly what they actually advertised it as. And you can see people waiting over there for the first launch of it. It kind of goes over there and then it's like a boom. Basically exactly as it used to be with Rock and Roller. Oh my god, there you go. Obviously, I know you. Oh, do you? I was gonna say, obviously, I'm not gonna be filming on the actual ride. The ride is over there, though, so I'm gonna love you and leave you and speak to you when I'm off the ride. See ya. Just got off and we were actually on the front row, which is very cool. Merci. Very, very cool. I didn't expect to be on the front row. I didn't ask for it, but I just happened to end up on the front row. So yeah, I am off the ride. As you can probably see right now, I'm in the photo area, which they've renovated quite a bit as well. They actually, for the first time ever in Disneyland Paris, have these little photo machines, which means that you can actually go in there and add your photo to your photo pass yourself, or pay for it if you wish to, without necessarily having to go to a cast member, which I think is definitely a step in the right direction for Disneyland Paris, because otherwise the main area where the cast members are would get very, very busy, and it used to normally be very busy for Rock and Roller. So they've got maybe 5 or 6 different little photo locations. I just went through it with a cast member and they explained to me exactly how it's done, but it's very straightforward. You just go there, you can choose your language as well, you can do it in English if you wish to, and then you find your photo and then scan your photo pass if you've got one, and there you go, you've got it on your photo pass. I thought I'd quickly show you actually. So toucher pour commencer, obviously to touch to begin. Over here you can see it, and they've got a variety of different photos here. These ones have nobody on them, but if you go left, for instance, and left, I'm actually going to hopefully see if I can show you my photo on here. There you go. This one is my photo over here, and obviously it's got all the stuff on it, but once you put it on your photo pass, it will be all nice and clear, and yeah, perfect. You can scan your photo pass down here, by the way, or if you want to pay for something, you can do so here. But yeah, my hair is an absolute mess. I love the Avengers music, by the way. That's one of the best things about this ride. Obviously, I'm going to talk a bit more about it once I get outside, but I did want to give a shout out to the person who was sat next to me. His name is Andre from Portugal, and we had so much fun on the ride together. He was obviously a single rider as well that obviously joined me. We were both on the front row. We were laughing so much. Initially we were both like, oh my god, good luck, etc. So Andre, if you end up watching this, it was great sharing the attraction with you, and I loved our journey. We both enjoyed it actually. Overall, I will say I enjoyed going on the ride. So there you go, spoiler for you. It feels so nice actually coming back into Walt Disney Studios Park from that attraction over there to this area. It's changed so much in the past few years, but I've done this journey so many times. Rock and Roller used to be one of my favorite rides here in Walt Disney Studios Park, and obviously, like I said, everything is the same apart from the theming and the facade they've changed, but yeah, the kind of place that you exit from is exactly what it used to be like before. And now that I'm walking this way, there's Stark Factory over here as well. I remember they had the Umbrellas of Cherbourg. There was the umbrella from the Umbrellas of Cherbourg movie right there, and you could take photos with it. Yeah, a lot has changed in this park in the past few years, and even though I actually in some ways do miss what this area used to look like, I kind of miss Rock and Roller as well. I can't deny it, and kind of the nostalgic vibes of it, the kind of very film movie theme that they used to have back in the days here, I really enjoyed. But I do think that they've done an awesome job with Avengers Campus. And look how empty it is. This place is empty, and it's not even 9 o'clock here. Yeah, it's 10 minutes to 9 p.m. and this area is open until 10:30. So tip of the day, actually, if you're hoping to do the attractions at Avengers Campus in a more relaxing manner without having to queue too long, I would suggest coming here between 9 and 10:30. At the moment anyway, in September of 2022, Avengers Campus tends to be open an hour and a half more longer than the rest of Walt Disney Studios Park. Let me just sit down for a second. What an awesome view this is, by the way. You've got Stark Factory over there, which is the quick service restaurant. You can see the back of Tower of Terror all lit up. That's the Mission Equipment Shop, the kind of merchandise area, and then on your left we've got Flight Force, the ride that I was just on. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Flight Force itself, the attraction, because I had heard so many mixed reviews about it prior to actually going on it today myself. Most people were actually quite disappointed with it, and I can see why, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But honestly, I hadn't really heard too many people raving about it, and again, I can see why as well. However, overall, I had a great time. I really did have a good time going on this ride, and I think it's because I just really love the track, because as I said, the track hasn't changed whatsoever. It's the exact same track that they used to have for Rock and Roller, both here and they still have it in Florida. So if you're a fan of the ride itself, I think you are probably going to enjoy Flight Force 2. I mean, like I said, I love it. I used to come and go on Rock and Roller all the time. I even have a video from 2019 for the last day of Rock and Roller. This is how much I used to love it. There's some bubbles coming through. There's a child next to me that keeps blowing bubbles, which actually makes this area of Avengers Campus even more atmospheric. I love the blue behind me in the dark. It all lit up. It just looks so awesome. Anyway, so with Flight Force, with Avengers Flight Force, the new roller coaster here at Avengers Campus, my biggest disappointment, and the reason I feel like a lot of other people also aren't the biggest fan of it, is that there really isn't much to see, honestly. Like, obviously I couldn't take you on the ride because I just couldn't risk it, and I don't think it's actually allowed anyway. So people that do take it on the ride, let me know in the comments down below, have you actually asked the cast member if it's allowed or not, because I don't think it is, and I don't like doing anything illegal in the parks. But even if I had taken you on the ride, it would have just been complete darkness for the most part, because there really isn't too much to see. The ride itself is really fun. As I said, it's a great roller coaster, but there's like, I think maybe 2 or 3 screens. Actually, I think it's 3. It's exactly 3 screens. I did try to count them as I was on the ride, and that's about it. On those screens, from time to time, you might see an Avenger, like Iron Man appears from time to time. It doesn't really even say much, and the music isn't even that loud, which is a shame. Like, I thought maybe if the music was a bit better. It's good music, don't get me wrong, but it's not overpowering. So it just feels like, for the most part, you're just going on a track, seeing darkness and a random screen from time to time, which is a shame. I feel like they genuinely missed a trick with Avengers Flight Force. They could have done so much more. Even if they just built one animatronic in there, it would have been cool. But even if they were going to go just for screens only, again, more bubbles coming through, even if they were hoping to do screens only, I feel like, again, they missed a trick. They could have had more screens in there, at least more exciting things on the screens, because like I said, they just wasn't enough. For the most part, 90% of that ride, Avengers Flight Force, is just in complete darkness, which again doesn't make it a bad ride. The actual ride is good. The roller coaster, I think, is one of the best ones here. But when you talk about Disney attractions, I feel like this is a bit of an embarrassment for Disney, personally. I feel really bad for saying it, but especially Disney in 2022, we've come a long way. I mean, Walt Disney World in Florida has so many exciting new attractions. I've heard really good things about Guardians there at Epcot. I can't wait to hopefully ride it next year. Tokyo Disneyland, their Beauty and the Beast ride that I think opened in 2021, is meant to be very cool and very technologically advanced. So how have they managed to take Rock and Roller Coaster, which already wasn't that exciting in terms of its theming? I mean, don't get me wrong, I said the ride was good, I love the ride, but the theming wasn't all that, and it was quite dark for Rock and Roller too. How have they made it even darker? Please let me know, because like I said, 90% of the time that you're in there, is just complete darkness. There's nothing to look at. You might as well just close your eyes, which is a shame. And this would have been fine if it was any other theme park. This would have been a pretty amazing roller coaster, a pretty amazing attraction if it was placed in a random theme park somewhere random. But because it's Disney, it is actually quite bad for Disney standards, I would say. In terms of Disney standards, this is not great. And it's mainly because of the theming. It's mainly because they could have done more. It's really only just a great roller coaster. It's a good roller coaster, but what I love about Disney is the deep theming, and there really isn't much theming, sadly, at Avengers Flight Force. Now, don't get me wrong, I still had an amazing time. Like I said, I was just so happy. Oh my god, the bubbles. I was just so happy to be able to go back on one of my favorite rides, you know, experience that track again that I love so much. It was exciting. I had good company with me as well, so I enjoyed it, and I would go on it again. You know, I'd probably go through the single rider, but it's a shame as well because the main good thing, actually the best thing about this ride at the moment is probably the Iron Man animatronic that you get to see through the queue line, only if you do the main queue line, not the single rider queue line. But there's some stuff going on at the moment behind me from Flight Force. Hopefully you can hear me. I might have to move. Anyway, I feel like I more or less have said everything I wanted to say about Flight Force. Amazing, incredible facade, really cool animatronic, audio animatronic inside of Tony Stark, Iron Man. It's a shame that Captain Marvel is an animatronic as well. She's just kind of on the screens, which seems to be the theme of this ride. The Quinjet looks amazing over there though. Look at that. I cannot get over how quiet Avengers Campus is. Look at that as well. Honestly, evening time, night time in the dark is the best time, I would say, to visit Avengers Campus. Most of the things are actually open still as well. The shops are probably going to be quite quiet as well. The only thing you can't do at this time of evening is the training center. I think that closes at around maybe 5 or 6 p.m. So bear that in mind. That's where you get to meet some of the characters like Spider-Man. I think Captain Marvel might be there as well. I haven't actually done it myself yet, but watch out because I will do a video all about how to get reservations for that as well. There's Pim Kitchen too. I think I might actually head over to Stark Factory, that's where I wanted to go. Considering we obviously just went on Flight Force, Stark Factory kind of makes sense. I really liked their pizza when I had it a couple of months ago, and I do have a whole video dedicated to every food items and snacks that you can get at Avengers Campus, so make sure to check it out as well after you finish watching this. There you go, there is the entrance of Stark Factory. They mainly serve pizzas and pastas. They do have a couple of vegan options as well. Here is a quick look at the menu. As you can see, a variety of pizzas. The one that I tried last time was the Stacchiatella, which was phenomenal. It's 14 euros, so quite expensive for what it is, but it tasted phenomenal. Some pastas and then a couple of desserts. Do not get this dessert, it's honestly not very good. I have tried it, I would not recommend it, but here we are. How cool is this entrance? And it seems to be pretty quiet as well, which normally it isn't. Trust me, if you come here in the middle of the day, it's going to be quite a struggle for you trying to find a table, but right now hardly anyone is here again, so yeah, exciting time. Hello. Cast members are amazing over there. Right, so I have already actually had this before. This is a mac and cheese. It seems to be a bit smaller, the portion, than I remember it, and different macaronis as well. This is the bolognese pasta, and then these are the pizza slices over here. Oh, these look so nice. They actually make the pizzas fresh here. You can see it over there. So that's why I think they kind of charge a bit more, because the pizzas are genuinely nicer than what you get in terms of quick service in the rest of the park, because they're all very nice and fresh. I've already picked up my pizza. You can see just how big it is as well. And I got an apple juice as well. But I thought I'd show you some of the salads they have as well. You can see they've got a variety of salads. There's a vegan salad as well. It's called Hyperbole Vegan, and quite a few of you have told me that apparently it's quite nice. This is what it looks like. Maybe one day I will try it, so it does look appetizing actually, to be fair. So, got a table, no problem whatsoever. I did notice that they had actually closed off some areas of Stark Factory, probably because it's quite late. It's 20 minutes past 9. This place is open until 10:30, but as you can see, there's not a lot of people coming, so it doesn't make sense to have the whole restaurant open. So just bear that in mind. If you really want to go and have a venture out into every single dining area at Stark Factory, then maybe don't come later in the day. But got my pizza here. I mean, look at this. I have had this once before, like I said. I do have a whole video dedicated to all the food and snacks here at Avengers Campus, as well as a video dedicated to just Avengers Campus generally. But yeah, this is exciting. I cannot wait to have it. 14 euros this was, yes, 14 euros for a big slice of pizza. It's almost like, I would say, because it's really big, you could argue that it's almost a full pizza, to be honest. But I do understand that 14 euros is still quite expensive. Like, I do get that. I personally think it would be more reasonable if this was maybe somewhere between 10 and 12 euros. probably closer to 10 euros. 10 euros would be perfect, but I do understand as well that we're in Disneyland Paris, all the Disney parks actually. I mean, they tend to be expensive, unfortunately. So yeah, I am gonna enjoy this huge slice of pizza. Let me just take the first bite. It's so good. It's so good. And I'm not even the biggest pizza fan, but I still love this pizza. The actual dough, the crust, etc. I think because it's made fresh, this makes it really good. And I love the cheese they use as well. I think Stracciatella is meant to be some kind of Italian cheese. Correct me if I'm wrong. Can't wait to get to the olive section as well. I love olives, so yeah. Oh yeah, they do give you cutlery as well if you wish to, and like a little napkin. It's very nice. The logo's nice. The Stark Factory design's really nice, and it's nice that it's kind of like slightly better cutlery than what you would get in other quick services. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to my pizza. Oh look, hidden Mickey over there. If you ignore this, that's the hidden Mickey, right? Anyway, I've got an amazing view as well. Actually, one of you guys just came and waved at me and kind of tried to charade to me that you watched the video. So I didn't obviously get to see what your name was or anything because I couldn't hear you, but we did wave. If you end up watching this, please let me know in the comments. It was lovely to wave at you. Well, that's my meal over. It was actually a lot of food. I'm very full. So this is what I'm saying about the pizza slices here. Even though you might just think it's a pizza slice, they are actually very big and filling. And I love the chairs here as well. Stark Factory is probably one of my favorite new quick services for sure. It's just awesome. The food is pretty good. The location is good. There's loads of tables and seats as well. And actually, I wanted to show you this very quickly as well. So as you can see here, it says food allergy. Don't worry. If you have any food allergies, don't forget to mention this while you order. A lot of you often ask me about what the food's like here in Disneyland Paris in terms of like gluten-free or other kinds of allergies, and basically that's your answer. Unfortunately, Disneyland Paris doesn't quite have like special gluten-free or different kinds of allergies options in terms of food where they're just available on the menu. If you have some allergies, you have to basically go to a cast member and ask. And from what I've heard, obviously I'm not gluten-free, but from what I've heard, if you're eating at a table service restaurant, then the options are normally quite good, depending on where you're eating. Obviously some of them might not be good, but for the most part, if you just tell your server, the cast member there, that you have an allergy, they'll make sure that the chef kind of cooks you something that doesn't involve whatever you're allergic to. But in terms of quick service, I'm not actually sure, so it's something that I'm trying to learn about a bit more myself. But if you're gluten-free, if you have an allergy and you have some experience in Disneyland Paris, please feel free to let me know about your experiences in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what it's like, because like I said, it's something that I don't know much about, unfortunately. The only thing I know for a fact is that the vegan chili over at Frontierland is for sure gluten-free, and it's also vegan obviously, which is good. So you can see that's Peggy Carter's office over here, which is currently roped off. The time is actually, oh right, there you go, okay, nearly 10 p.m. now, nearly 10 p.m. and there are still some people coming into the restaurant, but it's very quiet. Oh, I love this nice, cool, fresh air, evening air that you get in the cooler months of the year, like right now, end of September 2022. I can't wait for autumn months to come, October, November, December. These 3 months are probably some of my favorite months to visit Disneyland Paris, and a big part of it is actually the weather. I love cold weather. The cold never bothered me anyway, but the heat does bother me. I do not like the heat. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy being in the sun if it's not too extreme, but extreme heat, Lord have mercy. In the past few months at Disneyland Paris and a lot of other places in Europe as well, the heat has just been too much in my opinion. But yeah, there you go. We've got the Quinjet again behind us, Flight Force over there. I love it. I love how beautiful it looks in the dark. It's amazing. I'm so glad. This is my first time actually experiencing Avengers Campus in the dark. When I visited back in July for the opening, I only spent kind of daytime here because obviously it was summer as well, so it didn't get dark until about 10 p.m. back then. But there you go. Here's another look at Avengers Campus in the dark. That's the training center that we just saw. We've got Fly Force in front of us. The main kind of iconic part, actually, I would say, of Avengers Campus here at Disneyland Paris. I thought I would quickly give some last-minute thoughts on Flight Force there behind me. So the ride itself, the vehicle, the track, the roller coaster, I enjoyed because it's literally what it used to be before they did the over-theming, over-layout with Avengers. So yeah, I think it's a good ride, but the theming, I'm disappointed in, unfortunately. I feel like there really isn't much going on the actual ride, on the attraction. The queue line, as I said, is probably the best thing about it. It's really cool seeing Iron Man as an audio animatronic. I feel like this park definitely needed one, and I really hope that with Frozen Land coming in the next few years, they'll add more audio animatronics to this park. We definitely need them. They are expensive compared to screens, but this is what makes Disney. I prefer extra animatronics to just loads and loads of screens, and especially when the screens don't even do too much. Like in Flight Force, the screens were just a little bit pointless in my opinion. So overall, I'm disappointed in the theming, but because I had very low, they've started talking again, because I had very low expectations anyway, because I'd heard pretty negative things from a lot of people, I think I just had a good time in the end because I was just happy to be on the actual ride. The roller coaster is great. It used to be great. It was great before. It's still the same one, so it's still good. The theming, the Marvel Avengers overlay, if you like, of Flight Force is disappointing. It really is disappointing. I'm sorry to say it, and I feel like Disney defo could have done better. There are rumors that eventually, at some point, they might actually shut down this attraction again to try and improve it a little bit. I'm not sure how. They've had the past 3-4 years to do something with it, something awesome, and they've kind of failed, let's be real. So I'm not sure how they're going to try and change this into a better ride in just a few months of closure. And don't forget, it's just rumors. They might just keep it as it is, because at the end of the day, people are still going on it. Like I said, I've still had a good time. In fact, I'm excited to go on it again. If I hadn't just eaten a big slice of pizza, I would actually go on it again, because as you can see, there's hardly any queue. It seems to be quite quiet. But yeah, like I said, the ride is good. The theming is not so great. I have no idea how Disney managed to mess it up so badly. 3 years of working on this, and really the only thing we can see physically that they've actually worked on is the animatronic that you see in the queue line. So I would actually suggest, if you want to just see it at the animatronic, just go in the queue line, say hi to Iron Man. That's the best part, and then you don't actually have to go on the ride. You can go through the exit. And also, quite a few of you actually asked me if the ride is comfortable or not, in terms of like how much it's going to bang your head, etc. Because a lot of like the roller coasters that go upside down do tend to sometimes be uncomfortable. For me, it was quite comfortable actually. Personally, I didn't have a problem with it, but I don't know if that's because I just know what to do exactly on rides like this. So my suggestion, and this is something that just works for me, it might not work for you, but what I normally do is to try and make sure that my head is just kind of standing right in the middle of the ride, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to be leaning back, because if you lean back, your head's just going to constantly bump to the back of that seat. So don't do that. Just try and hold yourself still in the middle of the attraction and make sure your head's not actually touching anything. So you do have to kind of be wary, if that makes sense. If you just kind of let go on the ride, then your head's probably going to bump everywhere and you might be in pain at the end of it. But if you're very aware, which I understand not many people can be, children might not be able to constantly be aware of how to hold themselves and how to position themselves on the ride, then I don't know, like this is my tip. Basically, if you're planning on going on Flight Force, I would just say make sure that you try and stay in the middle center, that your head's not touching the back. That's a bad idea. If you just lean back, some people think that's the best way to do rides. It's not. If you're in the middle like I was, I thought it was actually fine. It was absolutely fine. It was smooth as it could be. Very similar actually to what's the other ones? Hyperspace Mountain. For Hyperspace Mountain, I feel like it's a pretty smooth ride, and this wasn't too much worse than that, in my opinion. But again, only my opinion.
Gateway portal. Contrôle des systèmes du campus terminé. Aucune activité inhabituelle détectée. Je détecte une activité inhabituelle à l'atelier Web Workshop.
Well, Avengers Campus is meant to close in 25 minutes. I've had an awesome past couple of hours here in this land. I love this land. I'm almost obsessed with it, even though I'm not the biggest Marvel fan. I just love spending time here. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed spending it with me. Stark Factory, I enjoyed this ride. Bad theming, as I said. The ride itself very good, because it used to be good and it's still the exact same one. I hope you enjoyed watching this video though. Let me know in the comments down below if you've ever been on Flight Force, if you're looking forward to going on it. Have you tried Stark Factory? Do you like olives? Do you like pizza? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos and watch some other videos on my channel, because I have loads. I will see you in the next one, alright? See ya!